Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna share my interview experience. This video is particularly about my interview part. Apart from interview, how I have applied, what are the difficulties I have faced in whole process, how I have given test, what are the questions asked in the test, how I have prepared for the test, how I have prepared for the interview. I'm gonna leave this topic for another video because I don't want to make this video so long. I'm going to basically talk about the interview part in that. So if you are ready and you're focusing on an interview, like how will interview will proceed for your in the case, then you can check it out this video. So without any further delay, let's get started. So in my interview, there are 4 peoples. First one is for document verification, second one is a technical person, third one is managerial person, and the last one is HR. So what happened in my case, my interview is scheduled as 12:30 p.m. Basically what a candidate do is, they used to prepare themselves 15 minutes or 10 minutes earlier for the interview. But in my case, what happened is, I prepared for the interview 1 hour before, and that is kind of a funny thing, you can say. But when I have 100% ready in 1 hour before, I got a call from one of the person and he said, "Can you join the interview in 15 minutes? I was like, yeah, I can join, sir. I am ready. So I have started doing preparation, mentally preparation this time. So in 5 minutes, I am mentally prepared for the interview also. Then again I got a call, like he said, "Can you join now?" I was like, "Yes sir, sure sir, why not?" I've joined the interview now. Like I've joined the interview at 11:35 p.m. 55 minutes before. So like that, when I have joined, all the 4 members have joined. She said, this is the document verification process. So before proceeding into the further rounds, we have to go through a document verification. So if you are going to give your interview, it is really important to keep your document with you, like Aadhaar card, PAN card, class 10, 12 mark sheet, and all semester mark sheet. It is really important because in between that, you're not going to take your document for that. You have to be ready with that. So I have been ready for that, all the things. I have shown all the documents with her line by line, and then after the verification, she said, "I'm done with my side." So what happened is, in a technical, like he introduced himself to me, like who actually he is. Then he asked me to introduce myself. I have introduced myself to him. And please keep this point in your mind. If you are giving your interview to the interviewer, and if you are especially doing your introduction at that time, please keep your introduction on a moderate level, not too short, not too long. Because if introduction is kind of short, interviewer did not get it what you have said. If your introduction kind of long, then interviewer might be bored. So kindly keep your introduction on a moderate level. Keep your introduction precise, concise, only relevant topics, only relevant points on your introduction, not a irrelevant point. For example, I have 4 brothers, I have 2 brothers, like that, not like that. If your brother is in IT background, he is a software developer or anything at a good position, like a IS officer or like that, brother or sister, so you can tell that, you can mention that, it is totally fine. But if you are giving like, I have 4 brothers, my mother is homemaker, my father is a businessman, like that, so it is kind of irrelevant. It can be like possible but kind of irrelevant, so please don't include. If your introduction is short, if you have prepared your introduction is short, then you can include it to make your introduction on a moderate level. But if your introduction is moderate, then kindly not include it. So I have given my introduction. Then he asked about my final year project. It is really important. If you are in a final year, kindly make sure you have a knowledge about your final year project, what you are going to make in a final semester or if your interview is in the final semester, so what you have made, it is really important. So final year project is really important. And also what happened in our case is, like, we used to create a small project. That is fine for your interviews, but a final year project cannot be a small project. It is not fine. A final year project should be a moderate project where you have used 3 to 4 technologies, because it is really important of including various technology in a single project. Because if you are going to work in any project, that project is not going to be on a 1 or 2 technology. That project is going to be on 3 or 4 technologies. So you have to make your project on a moderate level using 3 or 4 technologies. That should be fine. That should be acceptable. If you have given enough introduction about your project, then the interviewer is not going to ask much about it. But if you have given a short introduction about your project, then the interviewer is going to make a cross question on that. So please keep it to your mind. Make your introduction of a final year project is on a moderate level, not too short. When I have given my introduction of a final year project, it is kind of not a moderate, between short and moderate. So the interviewer asked me 2 cross question on that. Then he proceeded with a question on Java, and especially in Java, they focuses on OOPS concept, because it is really important, the pillars of OOPS concept. And if you are telling about the pillars of the OOPS concept, in that pillar, what are their subcategories of the pillar, like what are the subcategories of polymorphism, what are the subcategories of inheritance. It is really important to tell about that subcategories also. And also they are gonna ask you a real world example of that subcategories, so be ready for that. So he have asked me 2 subcategories like polymorphism and inheritance, and also real world example of their subcategories. Then he switched on to SQL, where he asked me 2 query of SQL. Before that, he asked me the commands of type of languages in SQL, DDL, DML. I have to tell that. I have to also tell example of that. Then he asked me some question on SQL, like first question are on join, I would remember, and second question are of a subquery kind of thing. So on join, I have to use a key for that, so that is a subquery over here. So I would say the difficulty of the question, second one is easy, first one is kind of medium. So that is all about my SQL question. Then he moved on into a coding question, where he asked me 2 coding question. First one is kind of easy coding question. I have to convert a number into binary form without using any internal library. So I have done that using Java. In Python you can use internal library, in Java also there is an internal library, but I have to do without using internal library. So I have done this using while loop. Apart from this, one more coding question has been asked. I did not able to recall that, but that coding question is kind of easy to moderate level. If you haven't prepared well, then that coding question should like hard for you, but if you have prepared well, then it is kind of easy to moderate. So that's all for my technical side. Then he transferred me into a managerial person. Then managerial person, what happened in managerial round is managerial person going to ask a managerial type of questions, like with other friends of mine. In managerial round, they are basically focused into managerial question, like one of question is if you have conflict with your team member, then how would you resolve that. This type of questions are basically in the category of managerial. So managerial person did not ask any managerial question to me. He directly jumped into advanced technical questions. So basically in advanced technical question, he asked me about cloud computing. I have tell that types of cloud computing, real world example of that type. So I have given the scenario also. Then he asked some question on AI/ML. So I have given definition of AI ML like that only, and then he moved into a type of ML, like what are the types of machine learning. I have tell that, and then what happened is I have also told one of the example of ML, real world example. Then he started doing cross question on that, like building question like that. So ultimately it is not easy for you to tackle that cross question. Like if you have generated any example at that time, and if someone asking you a cross question, then it is not easy to generate the answer of the cross question. So it is not easy for me to generate, but ultimately I have generated that answers of that cross question, and I would like that impress the interviewer. After that, all the cross question is over. Then I have moved into the HR person, and at that time the HR person said, your time is already over now, so I don't have any much time, so I'm gonna ask only one question to you. Where do you see yourself in 2 years? Like it is tricky question. Like where do you see yourself in 5 years? It is kind of easy question where you could tell anything, like your future plans in 5 years. But where do you see yourself in 2 years? Like the interviewer wants to know that whether I'm gonna work with TCS or not. So of course I'm gonna work with TCS, so I have tell a honest answer with them. Then my interview got over, and it is kind of wonderful experience. My interviews last up to 30 minutes. So yeah, that's all for this video, guys. If you have any query regarding my interview experience and how I have prepared for the interview, how I have prepared for the test and all things I'm gonna share with you using a particular video. So you can just subscribe my channel if you are new to my channel, so that you will be notified first when I upload that video. And also I have uploaded many videos, like I have joined TCS already, and what are the things happened with me after joining TCS. I have created some videos on that. You can check out the playlist of that. You can probably see the playlist in the I button. So yeah, I'm wrapping this video over here, signing off.